All right. Where's my Discord at? Where's my Discord at, people? Let's move this over. Come on. The Vultr.
There we go.
That'll work. Good with
Hey,
that.
look, we're live.
Skipping frames. Why are we skipping frames?
Oh, good. I don't know, but the sound sounds horrible on YouTube.
How horrible?
Sounds horrible. Let's check it out.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's just me.
I will check. No longer skipping frames.
Oh, yeah, it's very echoey on the stream.
Really?
Very echoey.
Oh, super echoey, yeah.
And how about now?
Oh, you gotta wait now. How about now? 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 Let's see.
So this is what happens when you're away for a week, is that all the settings get screwed up.
Hey, you need to talk, Jen.
What? I need to talk? I don't like talking.
We don't like you talking either, but...
Sweet, I'm leaving. I'm out. I was busy.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We don't like you talking either.
We don't like you talking either.
Oh, that maybe I should go to here.
Get Kevin Discord. Getting ready.
Hey, dude. Did you watch that video I posted in general today?
The beatboxing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not as impressive as Harry Mack, but it was cool.
Speaking of Harry Mack.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go.
Hey. All right, that's it. Let's wrap it up.
Good show.
That was a good show. I'm done.
That's why everybody tunes in to watch that. All right, are we ready to rock and roll? Do we want to do this, or what's going on? We want to say hi to everybody.
We said hi to everybody. Wait, what? What are we waiting for?
You see that echo's not coming in through the stream, Tom?
He says we're hearing it because of Skype, which is, I don't recall that being an issue before.
It's an issue because I'm feeding the audio back in. You'll stop hearing it if I back up from the microphone.
Okay, I believe you. That's fine.
So you're getting
you're
getting a leak from my headphones.
It's on the stream. Well, then why would I?
You need better headphones.
Why are you gonna start so early with this shit? All right, let's get it started.
Got a pair right here.
What happened?
All right, let's start the show. We can talk about all the shit on the show, and then I can cut the stuff if it doesn't go anywhere. So, all right. You're listening to episode 233 of PHP Ugly, your weekly podcast of PHP wonderful conversations. We are 3 PHP developers, and despite what the name is, we are the ugly of PHP Ugly. We love PHP. We're all 3 PHP developers. We make a living doing it. We have a community around it. We do this day and night. This is not just a 9 to 5 for us. And just like the Fonz on his 1949, what was it, a Triumph, we jump the shark every week, and we come back for more.
I don't think he did that on the Triumph. I believe that was...
I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is Tom Rideout.
Hello.
And John Congdon.
You gotta mute it to toot it.
Hello. I don't know what that means, but all right.
Hey, guess what?
Are you questioning my Fonz trivia?
Well,
are you questioning
before
it?
we get into that, what's that recording software we usually use?
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
I'm glad you caught that now and not 20 minutes from now.
Son of a bitch. Where's Slack? Slack, everybody. Slack, right there. Let's just take a break. I am not redoing that intro. I'll either steal it from YouTube or you want me to redo it? God damn, that was, what did I say? I don't remember everything I said. All right, I'll redo it.
Go back and listen while we're trying to get into this thing.
God damn it.
There we go. Running health checks. Running them.
God damn.
Run them faster.
Son of a bitch.
Ha!
I can do it with the same amount of energy here.
Buttery Crumpets helped you out.
Where's he at? Discord? What do I say here? It was actually a 52 Triumph. All right. Well, I have the Triumph, right?
You're only off by a decade.
Yeah, but that's not what he jumps. That's not what he jumps the shark on.
All right, hold on. Let's get the show going, and we'll dive into it. I'm gonna go with Buttery on this one, but I'm gonna go with Buttery. So I'm gonna look smart after the edit.
Go for it,
and then we can have the conversation. Okay. Shit. What episode is it again? 233.
That's what it says in Zencaster.
I've totally lost all my notes here. Boom, boom, boom. 233. Boom. Okay.
You have notes? You're that prepared?
Well, I mean, like just the episode number because I keep forgetting. Okay.
Don't read yet.
Damn it! All right. Yeah. Shit. Okay. You're listening to episode 233 of PHP Ugly, your weekly dose of PHP happiness and joy. We are 3 PHP developers. We do this for a living. We bring the ugly to PHP Ugly, and we make a living off coding PHP.
Sort of.
We try to make a living off coding.
We don't write the PHP.
And like the Fonz on his 1952 Triumph, jumping the shark every week and coming back for more. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me is Tom Rideout.
It's on water skis.
And John Congdon.
You gotta mute it to toot it. I had to read
Still don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means. It's just so weird.
We could talk about it in a second if you wanted to. If you really want to know.
Yes,
I want to know more about fonts.
You're right, Tom. He doesn't actually jump it with the motorcycle. He's on skis. You're right. But he did ride a actually, he started riding a Harley. Like the first episode or the first couple episodes, he was on a Harley, and then the production crew decided the Harley was too heavy to move around the sets, and so they put him on a lighter Triumph. Little Fonz Happy Days history for you, right there, free of charge. I'm just putting it out there for everybody just to have that knowledge moving forward. What is Muted to Tooted, John?
My kids went on a little play date today, and they came home laughing and telling me, "You've got to mute it to toot it." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And our friends that happened to listen to the show, and I called them out on Facebook to tell them they had to listen because I was going to talk about this. Their dad works from home and tells the kids, "You got to mute your Zoom before you toot." You got to mute it to toot it. So then I got to share with them a funny story, which then they talked about all night for some reason. Like a year or two ago, I'm on a Zoom call at night for an ops issue, and there's 4 of us, I think, on the call with somebody new on the team. And, you know, when your microphone picks up sound, you become the active speaker in Zoom, and somebody else decides to fart, and their face pops up as the active speaker.
As a guilty party.
And most people kind of ignore it and pretend it didn't happen. No, not me. I don't. I'm like, so-and-so, did you just fart? I gotta know. Turned bright red, and yeah, I'm not very nice.
No, you do like calling people out, don't you?
So you gotta mute it to toot it.
Well, that's like the classic story about the guy in the middle of class who had to fart. Decided he was going to cover it up by dropping his books on the ground. So he slams his books on the ground, makes a huge loud noise. Everyone looks over at him, and then he farts. It's just a timing issue.
Yes. Hey, Woods, I'm not seeing you on YouTube. We're there, buddy. Thank you, Buttery.
Thanks, Buttery. I was just about to paste it. He's quick.
Yeah.
That's it.
So how's everybody's week? How's everybody's week? Is the voting for the release manager over yet? No, it's not going to be released. I
mean, it might as well be.
Listen, I got news for you. Okay, my legal representative, Ruby on Rails, is filing injunctions as we speak in several kangaroo courts. We have a lot of information. There's voting fraud amok. People not using real names, IDs not being checked. We have evidence that they're not even all U.S. citizens.
No, this is getting
that's
not a requirement.
This is getting turned over.
No, that's not at all.
I'm telling you right
a requirement.
Now. I have faith in Ruby. Yes. No.
Something tells me Ruby's on Rails.
Over. Ruby's on Rails. That's right. Yes.
For sure.
Or doing Rails. I don't know what that means exactly, but when is the voting over? Yes, it does look like it's pretty much over here. I haven't seen any new voting. I think there's been I know I got a new vote since last week, but it was somebody who cared very much about me and just still didn't want to give me their first vote. So, bastard! I love you, Ralph. I love you, man. But I only love you like second. This has got to be wrapping up. I'm trying to see how long.
Ralph,
I thought
he knows you had no chance of winning. He could have given you the sympathy vote.
Exactly, right? It's like he's not going to change any tides here. He could have just given me that one first seat vote, but no.
Wow. I mean, let's not jump to the conclusion that the vote he gave you isn't a sympathy vote.
Oh, I got time. I got 4 days. This is going until the 26th. Oh,
wow.
We can swap out judges. I mean, I got all sorts of plays I can make here.
You're gonna have to find
We're
12
good.
more voters there.
He can use executive action, right? Executive privilege.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
White privilege? Is that what white privilege is?
Nope.
Can I use that now?
Nope.
Can I? No.
Nope.
Oh shit.
Too far. Too
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. I do think we have our next release managers, and I am actually very excited about it. So, yep. I think
So it's still showing it's not showing the breakdown of as they weed people out. You could just kind of tell looking at the numbers who's going to be picked, right?
Right. His name
Yeah.
his name still shows up there.
Yeah, but that definitely looks like. Actually, it's running. It's not running tight. I mean, there's not a first and second place. There's just 2 seats. There's seat 1, seat 2, but they're just that's just what they're called. There's no differentiation between them. But definitely looks like it's going to be Ben Ramsey and Alert. What was his first name?
Alert.
I forget. Alert, but that wasn't his first name. He's a bigwig too. He's like a engineer or something. I forget
Patrick
who he is.
Alert.
He's a big deal. Yeah. So I think those will be our next 2 release managers for. I'm really excited that they did do 2. I think that's going to make it a lot more approachable for people moving forward, because it is a lot of pressure not knowing what it is exactly and what's expected of you, and just knowing that not only are you going to have a veteran there with you, but you'll have somebody else learning alongside you, because maybe something isn't registering correctly, and you have somebody to bounce that off of who's also learning the process at the same time. I think it makes it a ton more approachable. So I'm really happy. I hope they keep that pattern going. I also hope the other suggestion that was made is that they do some sort of recording of the process or streaming of it, which I think would be a great idea. I hope they really consider doing that, because again, anything to lower the kind of unclarity of what somebody's getting into, and giving people more visibility of, okay, this is something I can handle, this is something I can take on. I think it's just going to make things a lot easier for them to find release managers moving forward.
It'll be interesting to see what happens as the years go on, where now there's 2 rookies. You have to be a rookie for 3 years before you can be a veteran release manager, right? So
yeah, we're just slowly building a baseball team.
Expect that people are going to weed out.
Yeah, and understand these release managers, they stick with this release. It's not like they're only releasing 8.1. They stay with 8.1 through its entire life cycle. So they are the release managers for 8.1 all the way through the security updates and all that. They're not going anywhere. They can't be the next release manager because they're still managing their releases.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that is a 3-year experience.
Yeah, it's a 3-year commitment. Yeah. It's a big deal. I mean, it's nothing to take lightly. You have to understand what you're getting into.
I took it very lightly.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, I applaud everybody who stepped up and put their names ahead. I think it really kind of shows the direction that the community is going in, that more people are getting interested in internals, which is what we need. I mean, it's great that we have PHP developers, and we're getting more PHP developers. I mean, PHP isn't going anywhere. It just continues to just have its, just this massive impact on the web as a whole, no matter what other languages and platforms might tell their managers, or whoever has the money, PHP is there. And to see that that's starting to bleed over into internals is big. I wish, I'm still hoping to get more involved with internals. I keep saying I'm going to do some C coding. I'm going to start looking at bugs and starting to try to figure out how to fix bugs. I mean, I'm going to be in a thorn in their side for years, but I don't know. It's good. It was good. It was very good to see. It was very good to hear Sarah talk about how excited she was to see how many stepped up. And that isn't even everybody. That's only the people who put their hat in the ring before the cutoff. If you look at internals, if you watch the emails, there were like 3 or 4 people after the cutoff that said, "Hey, I want to step up. I want to volunteer," and they didn't even make the cut because they'd already kind of frozen and said, "Okay, we're starting voting."
Well, and it's a bad sign as a release manager to be late for the cutoff. It's not a vote of confidence.
That's a good point.
No offense to the people who were late for the cutoff. Just lesson learned.
Well, sometimes emails get stuck in another folder. They found it in their spam folder late. They're like, "Oh, let me try." Yeah.
Okay, Midwest Conference, Midwest PHP. Speaking of a wonderful PHP community events, the free Midwest PHP Conference. Well, sort of free, right? A couple of tracks are free.
Yeah.
Going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that about?
Yeah, you didn't sound happy about that, Tom.
Nah, was not.
Why?
Why not?
Because the tracks aren't for me. The tracks that are
the 2 that are free.
Yeah.
The one track is definitely a beginner's. Don't even think I looked at any of the talks there. You're right. One of the tracks is definitely a beginner's.
Yeah.
Track.
One of the tracks is like how to install PHP, and what is object-oriented programming.
Yeah. You don't think they're gonna give away the good stuff for free, do you? That's just not the way.
Well, so okay.
They're not a lame podcast. God damn.
Issue number one was that this system, their website is impossible to navigate.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that.
It is a UX nightmare.
Not only was it hard to navigate, but I was sitting. So I'd gone to, I forget what track I clicked on for the first talk, thinking, okay, all the keynotes are going to be on all the tracks, right? Because I mean, how are you supposed to know where the keynotes?
Why not?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there. I'm seeing people tweet, and I'm seeing Discord go, and I'm like, well, actually, I wasn't even in Discord. It took me forever to even figure out what the Discord link was. I'm seeing people talk about it. I'm like, what the hell is I'm like refreshing my browser. I'm like, why am I not seeing the keynote? And then finally somebody said, oh, you have to go to this channel to see the keynote. And that actually,
you have to be logged in.
You
have to be logged in, which if you're logged in, the page does not indicate in any way that you're logged in. And when you click on Watch Now, it asks you to log in. You have to be on the Nomad PHP site to see the stream links. And you have to do so through a menu that says like upcoming conferences or upcoming speeches instead of like currently running right now. The video is playing right now. It's
okay. UI thing, 'cause it's a virtual conference. I mean, nobody does this for a living, so everybody's just like trying to figure out the best solution. It was interesting that they have a multi-track conference as a virtual conference. There are obviously some hang-ups, and I'll acknowledge that. Yeah, there were definitely some hang-ups, but you didn't listen to any of the talks? None of the talks interest you at all? None of the keynotes or anything? I mean, because all the keynotes are available.
Yeah, I just... when I went over everything, I just decided I don't have the patience to watch 8 hours of Zoom sessions.
Obviously, you tried.
I did try.
You know the UX.
I did try. I jumped into one track about enums. The audio was terrible, and I
almost went to that one. I chose not. I chose the. Actually, I missed that one completely. That time slot.
Yeah, I did too. There were actually 3 talks I wanted to watch at that time slot, and I ended up having to take care of some personal task and missed all 3 of them. So
yeah.
Well, still got tomorrow. Tomorrow is that it's the last. I think it's the last keynote of the day. Is that ethical hacker keynote that I'm really excited about. I want to see that one.
Socially engineering your pathway to a better team.
Is that what it is? I thought it was.
Yep.
I thought the person presenting is their profile was something ethical hacker or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Technical trainer, ethical hacker, and international public speaker Olivia Liddell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that one. There's some good talks. I'm back to the same anxiety I have going to conferences of trying to figure out which one I want to commit to go see, because I'm always curious about another one somewhere else.
But as a paid subscriber, you have access to all of the videos afterwards. I'm almost positive on that.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
And I've been a fan of Nomad PHP for years, since I believe Cal Evans started it, and I don't know why I've never been a paid subscriber to it, but bit the bullet today, signed up. And there's a lot more than just this event that you get as a subscriber. And I should stop talking because they're not advertising. I just realized.
But you know who is advertising?
Who?
Cloudways. We bring today's podcast to you in cooperation with Cloudways, a managed cloud hosting platform built for your PHP projects. If you simply wish to focus on your business, Cloudways is the way to go. They take over server management and security and free up time that you can dedicate to growing your business and acquiring new clients. The platform offers a choice of IaaS partners: AWS, Google Cloud, DigitalOcean, Linode, and Vultr. In addition, you get a performance-optimized stack, managed backups, and staging environments where you can test your code before pushing it to live servers. Best of all, Composer and Git come pre-installed so you can get your projects up and running quickly. All this power, simplicity, and peace of mind falls right within their brand slogan: moving dreams forward. Be sure to visit cloudways.com/en/php-hosting.php today. Sign up using the promo code PHPUGLY and get a $25 credit. Thank you, Cloudways.
Thanks, Cloudways.
Thanks, Cloudways. Excuse me.
You gotta mute it.
I was listening
to burp it.
No, it's not the same. So I was listening to last week's episode. Tom,
Yeah.
have you started the new gig?
I have not started the new
right.
gig. I have started working on it. I have started the onboarding process and getting through things, getting an understanding down. I get my M1 MacBook tomorrow.
Interesting.
You said you haven't started. Are they paying you for that?
No, this
To
is
get started?
This is for my comfort. This is for my ease, my peace of mind. Just making the onboarding as smooth as possible. We've been doing Waterfall at my current company for a long time, and this is a heavily agile environment. So doing
two very key words. Can you just kind of explain what Waterfall is for people listening who might have heard it but doesn't? I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah. Our implementation of it is as problems come up, we resolve them.
That's not so much Waterfall.
Fair.
I don't know if that's exactly.
It's just kind of work on everything at the same time, sort of
right.
thing. Right.
Throw all the stickers on the wall and prioritize your items and work on the things that are yours.
So what is your I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
My definition of waterfall is way different than that. Usually a waterfall is a much longer outlook, and it's like you have to have every single piece of scope outlined at the very beginning of the project.
Yes.
And you don't do anything else until that's done.
Okay, so
2, 5, 10 years down the road.
Yeah, technically Waterfall is this massively advanced pre-design system where you take your system requirements, you write out a design doc, technical spec, guidelines for implementation. Like, you have full documentation and then you start working on it. But it is it is
Stop reading Discord and talk.
it's also a short term for just generally poor organizational skills. It is used by people who want to say we don't use Agile, we just do things as the tickets show up. So it's sort of a dual meaning.
That's cowboy coding. That's
yes, but that
working on whatever floats your boat at the time.
Correct, but that makes us sound ridiculous. So we say waterfall instead.
Makes you sound
Listen,
cool.
okay, it is.
I want to be a cowboy.
It is a long-standing tradition of lying on your resume.
Yeah, that works. I can get behind that.
So I don't want to give away too much, but for PHP Architect, actually the magazine is out now. There is a article in there about Agile Development, and that's actually going to be our interview this month. I'm excited to talk. But with that being said, me personally not a fan of Agile Development. I think it's more of a buzzword. Do you think you can adjust to Agile Development, Tom? Because you don't seem like a very Agile developer to me.
I'm not, but I don't have any problem becoming one. You just have to.
I mean, John's kind of become Agile with the client he works with. How is that working out for you?
It's got its pros and cons. If you're talking about doing sprint work, I mean, it's basically you have other people taking care of grooming the task, deciding what's going to go into the next sprint. They are doing 6-week sprints. We are using stand-up IaaS just like we do on all of our other clients. And basically for that 6 weeks, you pick whatever tasks you think you're most suited to work on.
So how are you guys, how's that client, how are they handling bugs in that situation?
So what they decided to do is dedicate 50% of the man hours to the sprint. So in a typical 40-hour work week, they're only accounting for 20 hours so that as bugs or support tickets or anything else come up, there's room within your work schedule to work on that if you need to. Or it's also accounting for bloat. Estimating is hard. So there's also that aspect where you say it's going to take 4 hours, it takes 8 hours. Mm-hmm. That's trying to be taken account of when estimating. Like we have a bunch of developers in the room talking about what we think it's going to take. Usually we up it by 1.5, 2 times. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, there is that extra 50% because last sprint there was a shit ton of ops issues. So I didn't do any sprint work for most of it because I was constantly dealing with database, SQL injection, server issues, memory issues. So I was just completely out of it for so much.
I want to put this out there because I know we're on a delay, and then I want to ask you another question while we're waiting for a response. We've got, speaking of release managers, we got Ben Ramsey in our Discord. If you're not part of our Discord, you really need to be part of it. This is why these jerks stopped talking earlier, because everybody started reading Discord. For the record, A-Wood, I'm already picturing the thumbnail. You're leading the pack with the title. But Ben Ramsey's in Discord, and he says that he actually had a great experience with Scrum training. Ben, I'm curious, when you did that, did you guys do daily Scrums? And John, that's kind of the same question I have for you. You guys, I don't believe you guys do daily Scrums, or do you?
So I'm not good with the terminology. Scrum versus Agile, I always lump them together. So
yeah, I think Scrum is part of Agile.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about the Scrum being the stand-up part, it's just through stand-up IaaS. There's not a big get together at the beginning of the day.
So I'm gonna have that. I am gonna have the full in-person video meeting every day.
That's not in person.
Well, the not text-based one, the video-based stand-up meetings. Yeah, like Ben Ramsey was saying, is that estimating on time is a sort of broken way of estimating things. Estimating on complexity is the best. Scrum Agile has these story points things. I'm not really used to estimating my time like that. It's going to take me a while to get used to that, more so than anything else, I think. But it's going to be a challenge. There's going to be a lot of areas where I know the right way to do things, and I've known the right way to do things for a while. Now I just have to do them right all the time.
Testing?
Yes.
Testing? Good.
Not necessarily TDD, and not necessarily part of my department.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you mentioned last week that there were only a couple of developers, though, right?
I've got a more complete view of the organizational structure now, and yes, there are only a couple of developers, but roles are very clearly defined, and I like it. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm just doing some preparatory research. I did find out that there's some great developer management systems out there that I didn't know about, like Ookla. Have you guys heard of that?
I don't know what Ookla is. No.
No name dropping.
No, I'm sorry.
if they're not a
Okta.
sponsor.
OKTA. Yeah, I tried to add my new.
So it's not necessarily developer management, other than you hire somebody, they will provision all the accounts you need, right?
Not just that. So I tried to get my email account, my new company email account, set up on my tablet, and
there's somebody that I know that works there that I don't want to promote their site because they blocked me on Twitter for no good reason.
Ah.
I bet you there's a good reason. But
there's not a good reason. You blocked me on Twitter. That's stupid.
Well, so my tablet wouldn't let me connect to the email server until I had been approved by the admin, until that device had been approved by the admin of the company.
So is your tablet, is it an iPad?
No.
A company provided iPad?
No.
Oh, no.
It's a Samsung, and apparently Android has a mixed use mode where it's a personal device that has business applications on it, and you can switch between modes, like their profiles. And it's managed like a business device. It's very interesting. A lot of permissions management stuff that gets handled by this company. And I was sort of in awe of how quickly they were able to spin up everything for a new employee.
Yeah. It is pretty impressive. And I'm being petty with this person because I looked up to him so much and I think he's a great person, and I'm sad that he blocked me.
That's why he blocked you.
Because I looked up to him.
Don't have heroes.
So you're getting.
Well, he wasn't a
M1.
hero. I just thought he was cool. I liked him.
He's teaching you a lesson.
You're getting
he's like a.
We're gonna keep talking
when
about
you no longer wish to steal the stone from your sensei's hand, you've won. Yeah, so I got that HR. They had a full HR thing that just was like an online interface for pick your health plan, and like gave you all the prices and stuff and clear written out. Like the whole thing was just boom, boom, boom on web interfaces, whereas I've been dealing with fax machines for like years now.
So you're getting an M1. Did you happen to catch the Apple event?
Oh boy. Don't
do it, Ben. Keep him blocked, Ben.
You might know me as a bit of an Apple hater.
No, you? Really?
No.
But I want to be clear here. I'm not an Apple hater. I'm a price gouging.
You just hate everything.
I'm a price gouging hater.
Oh. Okay.
And the price gouging that Apple pulls, I think, is bullshit.
You are pretty well documented talking shit about Apple.
Prices.
Pretty solid. So
prices.
Yeah. Yep. Well, a little beyond prices, but let's stick with prices. Sure. So you're getting an M1. Did you watch the event? Did anything strike your fancy at the event?
Yeah. Apple is
What?
going to dominate the PC market for at least 10 years now.
With what? What did you see?
I couldn't disagree with you more. I saw that event and I'm like, this is horrible. Like, they add some flashy colors. Their big selling point is how great the M1 chip's going to be. There's nothing backing that.
No, there's a lot backing that right now.
God damn it! Let me finish the goddamn sentence. As far as long-term use and people using it, and Apple staying on top of it. I mean, Apple, just like Google, will sit there and if something's not working out for them, will abandon something. That's my biggest concern about the M1 chip, is Apple will just decide, you know what, this is actually costing us more money. But I think John was going to say the same thing. I saw this event, I'm like, God damn, I'm not interested in any of this stuff. I'm fine with my System 76 Linux desktop because none of this looks appealing to me. It's been a long time since I said that.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't see the actual event. I only saw the 3 big announcements, and to me, I was like, yeah. See, this is weird. Tom and I switched places because I was a huge Apple fanboy from like 2000 to just a year or two ago, and now all of a sudden I'm like, don't really care. I'm happy with my.
Well, I didn't watch the whole event, and what I saw. This is selfish. I understand it's selfish. I'll say it. But what I saw from the event is I saw a dramatic change in direction from being developer focused, developer embracing hardware implementations to no, we really just want people who want to spend and give us money, and it's the graphic design people.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
That's the way it's always been.
It wasn't the developer event. The developer event is in like 3 months, and that's where they're going to introduce Xcode for iPad.
Yeah. I will say, with that in mind, I am looking. I'm probably going to be spending a week away from the house. We have some personal things happening, and I'm going to have to go out to Arizona for a while. And I've been talking for a while how I've been using my iPad. I haven't, since getting my System 76 machine, I haven't used my Apple laptop, and it's sitting over on a shelf here. And the little traveling I've been doing, I've been using my iPad. So I'll either do the Raspberry Pi thing that I have set up, which I like, and it's all right. Or I'll SSH to a server to do a little development if I need to do development. But that's just like a niche thing. Like if I'm going for a day or two, or if I'm going over the weekend and I'm not planning on coding, it's not that big of a deal. But being gone for a week, I'm like thinking, shit, man, I got to get my freaking laptop out. I got to get everything up to date. Screw my whole Docker workflow because that runs like shit on my Mac. And I'm debating whether or not I want to just stick with the iPad and just set up my development chain on a server, like on DigitalOcean somewhere, and just work on the server remotely. Or if I want to kind of suck it up and bring my laptop, up. I need to bring my laptop up to snuff anyways.
You don't have to have a remote server. You have one right there in front of you. Just.
So I've been thinking about that. As well. I'm like, I should set up a tunnel to my desktop and just use that. I might actually end up doing that because that's the most appealing to me. I'll just do an SSH into here and I'll be happy as a clam.
I haven't checked out the whole PHP Storm remote thing where it actually runs on your machine but projects onto your laptop.
Mm-hmm.
But I keep hearing people talk about that, and I think you were talking about it with VS Code for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds like it's more and more of the way to go.
I don't need it though. I mean, I'm really happy with just being in Vim, and I'm still bouncing back and forth between Vim and PHP Storm. I mean, I have my PHP Storm pretty tricked out with my Vim key binding. So me going from Storm to Vim, the biggest difference is speed. Vim is so much faster, but I get
in which aspects? It's not in every aspect.
It's pretty much faster in every aspect that it does. Now, what it doesn't do is it doesn't give me all the crutches that I have with PHP Storm.
That's what I mean. So that having those crutches or the speed improvements, the auto completion, the being able to bounce around your code so much faster. I mean,
no. The bounce around the code is faster in Vim. You don't understand. You're not using the Coq servers, the language servers, and doing the. I mean, it's a different Vim than you understand, John. Trust me on this. Like jumping to definitions, code completion, things like that is insane. And I'm using NeoVim, but I think it's the same in Vim 8 as well. It's just it's better than PHP Storm in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
What do you open PHP Storm for then? Maybe that'll help.
So I don't have a dead fast rule. I tend to use Storm more if I'm using a project I'm working on with Livewire, which I've been doing a lot of Livewire stuff because my Vim doesn't understand Livewire. So, like, again, we're talking about the jump to definitions. That's the one place it breaks for me is with Livewire components. Vim doesn't understand how to do that, whereas PHP Storm actually has a dedicated Laravel plugin you can install, and it has a lot better understanding of things like Vue components, Livewire components. So I tend to do that. If I'm going to be in the editor for a while, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of in both of them now. I'll just bounce back and forth. I'll have the project open in both. I mean, like even now, I don't know if you remember back in the day with Vim, if you updated a file outside of the editor, it wouldn't always update inside Vim. It would do like this weird thing where you would have to reload the buffer, and that's not the case anymore. At least not for me. That's not the case anymore. I can easily do that. Then I actually I came across I'm going to pimp it again. PHP Architect. In this month's PHP Architect, Edward Bernard talks about a service he used or uses or used in the past called Tab 9. And it's just like an auto completion using AI. So this is an example where it had a plugin for Vim and it had a plugin for PHP Storm. I hate it in PHP Storm. Well, no, that's wrong. I don't hate it. PHP Storm already has pretty good code completion. What Tab 9 does is it does code completion based on AI. So it does a bunch of looking through open source projects and seeing coding styles, and then it starts to try to figure out what you're doing as you're coding. It's pretty cool. In Vim, it's very nice because it not only does it give you the code completion, but it gives you kind of like the percentage that it's used, like the percentage it thinks it's what you're looking for, and it's kind of neat. And PHP Storm, I don't like it so much, only because it prioritizes the Tab 9 code completion above the PHP Storm code completion. And like 9 times out of 10, I want the PHP Storm one because the PHP Storm one, when I used it, like if I'm calling a model or something, it will automatically add it to my use statement in the file. With Tab 9, it doesn't do it. It says, "Hey, we think you're doing this, and if you use their code completion, PHP Storm will say, hey, you called this model, but you didn't add the use statement. You got to add the use statement. You just have to go back and do it. It's not a huge deal. I just wish there was a way I could prioritize Tab 9 to say, hey, put your code completion under the system code completion, and let me pick that way. But it's pretty cool.
You don't do a lot of TDD as well, right?
I actually do. Like over the last week or two, I've done yet none. I do no TDD. I've been told not to TDD. You get a rash.
See, that's just another aspect I love about PHP Storm, or I'm sure other IDs do as well. But simply having my test pane open, I hit a button to say continuously run this every time a file changes, and then as I make any change in any file, my test reruns, and I just keep making changes.
I mean, you can do that. You can do that in Vim as well. I have it format every time I save. Excuse me. I can have it run tests as well. That's not an issue. And by the way, you called me out and asked me if I had debug installed. I'm like, I thought this week, I'm like, shit, I should go ahead and put debug on this, and I did have it installed. I just never used it. So it's there. I just don't use it. Debug is an example where I'll definitely lean towards Storm. I do like the Storm debug feature. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain, because you were never that big of a Vim. You were just a basic Vim user, so it's hard for me to explain.
He's not wrong. I mean, I've done presentations on why Vim is better than IDEs, because I believe that until I was able to use the Vim bindings in an IDE. So to me, I got the best of both worlds at that point.
And that is no small topic. I mean, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I keep going. I continue to use PHP Storm, because not only do even somebody like me, who really tricks out their Vim configuration, and I shared my idea RC with Ben today. As a matter of fact, I tricked out my Vim implementation on PHP Storm, so even the things that I use plugins for in Vim, like Nerd Tree, like Git, things like that, I'm able to pull those bindings over to PHP Storm and use the PHP Storm features, even PHP Storm plugins. Like you can install other plugins into PHP Storm and create Vim bindings to them, and it's that repetition where I'm not relearning. Like I don't have to remember when I get over to Storm how I do something. I just bind everything the same way. So, for me to open up a file, it's leader key FF, because in Vim, that's telescope for me. So I hit leader key FF and I can search for files and open files. It's the same thing in PHP Storm. And all that stuff to me is just like, it's why I can still use Storm. And, the biggest, there is some slowness with PHP Storm, and there is some system resource issues with PHP Storm. I have a honking machine, so I don't really see that. It's not really an issue for me, but I do understand people who don't have as big a machine as I have, it can be a problem. But as far as usability, if you can get over the slowness, if you can get over that, it's PHP Storm is not a terrible thing. It's the same thing with VS Code or Atom. If you're a big Vim person, most of these editors now allow you to customize the Vim plugin, and it works. I'm not hating on PHP Storm. I feel like I use it as a crutch. Like I should be a better developer and not need some of these features in Storm. And I don't know.
I still disagree on that.
But you just acknowledged that was the thing you liked about it.
Yes, to a point. But I mean, having to remember to go up and put a use statement, it doesn't make you a better developer, because you remember to put a use statement up there as you quickly typed in the basic piece of your class name, and it auto-filled it in for you.
Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, that's the one thing that you can't deny. Not even that, but even the new implementations of PHP, the new ways of doing things in PHP Storm is there first, and it sits there and makes these suggestions of, hey, maybe you don't need an if else here. Maybe you can do this with a what's it called? What's the shorthand for if? See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah. I only know it because PHP Storm will offer it to me. You know, I wouldn't think. Well, now that's one I'm starting to think to do myself. But just all these new conventions that hit PHP get implemented in PHP Storm very quickly because it's a product that's focused on that language. You know, they have it for every language out there, and Vim is kind of like, if I need to code, I can code in Vim. I don't care what language it is. I don't care if it's a script. I don't care what it is. I know I can do it in Vim. In PHP Storm, I'm like, okay, if I'm doing Python, yeah, I can do Python in PHP Storm, and you can even install the plugins, but that feels yucky. Let me go ahead and get PyCharm. You know, I don't know, man. But, I mean, if you're a PHP developer, if you're a paid PHP developer, there is really no reason you shouldn't be using a specialized tool for the field you're in. Don't ever feel bad about it. Don't let people like me talk shit to you for using it. It's a specialized tool for the industry you're in. You never should feel ashamed for doing that. Except for John. John should always feel ashamed.
And I always do.
So,
hey,
to answer your question,
go ahead.
I really like the iPad Pros. Very, very excited about that.
Thanks for bringing us full circle there.
Well, what? All right. Now that we're back on the Apple train, what?
Oh, Jesus.
What was the part of the iPad Pro that had you excited? The fact that you're getting one because the company's buying one?
I'm not getting the iPad Pro. I'm not getting the iPad Pro. The new iPad Pro is M1 powered. It has up to 2 terabytes of local storage, 5G connectivity, and it uses Apple's new XDR Retina displays, which, if you have seen, is totally insane. It's got over 1,000 local dimming zones. It has better HDR specs than televisions even go up to. It is nuts. And I've been hearing about the Apple Pencil, that it's one of the most amazing writing on device things you can get.
I don't disagree with that. The only problem I have with it is my setup for my, and I keep an iPad with me, because I'll have Discord running on something. You can write everywhere with the pencil now, but I have the laptop thing set up, and it's the angle's weird. You know, it has to be flat, and then it gets all smudgy because your hand is sitting on it.
So, okay.
But I use the pencil
I want to get into all of the things that really tell me that Apple is going to be dominating the market here soon.
Let's not do that. Apple's don't we have another sponsor to get to?
We do have.
How long are we going to talk about Apple?
Let's get to that. Let's get to that sponsor first. You give me that sponsor.
No, I feel like I hurt your feelings. You tell us about your Apple love.
I will. After the sponsor, we will get into what's interesting, the most interesting about this Apple press conference.
I hurt Tom's feeling. You know what doesn't hurt Tom's feeling? Knowing what's going on with his application.
Usually.
You know how he would know?
Sometimes that does hurt my feelings.
Honeybadger.io. Honeybadger.io is our second sponsor tonight, and we want to thank them. They sent us an email today. They said, hey, PHP Ugly, we really appreciated sponsoring your podcast. We want to sponsor another one. I'm like, you've been sponsoring us all month. Whether you like it or not, we're talking about you.
Yeah, our unsponsor fee is way higher than our sponsorship fee.
You can't stop us talking about you now, Honey Badger. But yes, Honey Badger.io, we talk about it every week now. We really appreciate it. I'm implementing it more and more on Diego Dev properties that we have out there. Coming to an Argus.2 server near you soon. Argus.2. I guess I shouldn't mix sponsor messages. I was going down that path, and I pumped the brakes. I don't think the Honey Badger would like.
Just exit on the completely wrong slogan for the wrong company.
No return. Wait, go.
So thank you, Honey Badger. Thank you for sponsoring us. It honestly is a great product. It's not only for PHP. It's for anything you have out there, any application you need monitoring, any server you need monitoring. Give Honey Badger.io a look. They do have a free tier. It doesn't even cost you anything. They don't ask for a credit card or anything like that. There's nothing to lose. Check them out, and they're wonderful. I promise you. I do honestly use them. Okay, now go. Yeah, that's right. Get your screen up. Make it nice and big.
Here's the thing.
Let's talk about the sellout. I mean,
Apple
sorry, not sellout. Let's talk about your new appreciation of Apple.
Apple has always been great at managing their ecosystem. And this presentation showed a lot of the cross-device stuff that was going on in their ecosystem, dragging things from your phone to your iPad or your desktop or whatever, and then having an M1, like a full power iPad Pro that's basically as powerful as the MacBook Air. And 16 gigs of RAM available on the iPad Pro, support for the Apple Pencil, 2 terabyte hard drive, 5G connectivity, support for the Magic Keyboard. It's like, this thing is a pretty incredible device. And what we've seen performance-wise from the M1 is very impressive. What we've seen battery life-wise from the M1 is very impressive. And right now, everything but the phone and the watch are running the exact same architecture. You've got the Mac Mini, the MacBook and Pro. You've got the iPad, which is now M1 architecture. You've got the iMac, which I don't care about personally, but wow, that is a winner for computer illiterate homes to have a single cable on your desk powering the whole thing, including Ethernet. It's
including Ethernet.
Yeah, Ethernet is now being run through the power on the cable. So it has an external power supply that you plug the Ethernet into, and that runs it as PoE through the power cable. The mouse is wireless, keyboard's wireless.
Power over Ethernet. Yeah. You can already do this in your home. You can run your Ethernet through your
right, but
your
the back of the machine just has the MagSafe plug and 4 USB-C ports. That's the whole external connection on the thing.
And you make it sound like that's a good.
That is massively
limited.
That is massively appeling
to
home
users.
Who are you?
No. He said for the illiterate user, not for a developer.
For the home user.
Now. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what show you've been a part of. I mean, we've been talking for years about, if you're totally committed to the Apple ecosystem and you're willing to pay the premium price, I mean, all their stuff works well together.
That's the thing, is that the price is not that premium anymore. The prices are starting to look reasonable.
I think somebody's making a little bit more money.
If you start cranking up features, the prices get unreasonable.
Okay,
like the
external drives. How much are we going to fucking talk about Apple today?
I just want to say one thing. So
seriously,
the Apple Tags thing. Did you see the Apple Tags presentation?
I didn't see the presentation. I saw
what they are.
Yeah, Marcus. Brownlee's.
Okay, so did you see the functionality that if you're using it to track somebody without their knowledge, it notifies them?
How would it do that?
I don't care. How would it do it? Do they have to have an iPhone to do it?
Again, yes.
Totally don't.
If they don't have an iPhone, it doesn't let them know. That's bad, but no. But this is a built-in functionality: is that if the phone that owns the tag is out of communication range for a certain period of time, and the tag finds itself frequently following a phone that it's not registered to, then it will contact that phone and say, I believe I have been tracking you without your knowledge.
Okay.
It's what a weird thing for a company to just think of in the first iteration of the product. Like, hey, this thing could be used negatively. Let's just make sure it can't. I'm very interested in where Apple is going, especially having just the single chipset environment.
All right, so what you're telling me is, if I have AirTags, don't put them on somebody with an Apple device. Make sure it's only Android devices.
Correct.
Got it. Thanks. Correct. Only track people with Androids.
And not just that, but I think their ecosystem is getting stronger and stronger. their default applications blow Microsoft out of the water, because right now Windows 10 comes with Candy Crush. That's the biggest change since Windows 95.
It still comes with that? Are you kidding me?
It's awful. Right now, Windows 10 is
that's why I don't have
Windows. Right now Windows 10 is an advertising platform for their App Store, and they don't include anything that I would consider a good default application. Whereas the Apple ecosystem is fully integrated, everything communicating with everything else. It's very cool. I just wish they would update Safari so that Core's support worked, because that's a pain in the ass.
Hey, do you guys want to laugh?
Sure.
As long as it's not a fucking Apple joke. Jesus.
It's not even a joke. It's not really going to make you laugh. I'm just trying to change subjects. I was contacted today, and they're like, hey, this bug showed up. Why? If we have a timeout of 5 seconds, how did we hit the 60-second limit in PHP? I'm like, timing is stupid, and the app could have spent 56 seconds before it got to this point in the code, and then happened to die in the part where we had a 5-second timeout. That was my explanation, because I didn't have any other theory. I dive deeper into the code, into the library that I'm using, and I'm saying, hey, I want a 5-second timeout. Yeah, I was setting a 5,000 second timeout.
Oh yeah, that's not going to work.
Well, I mean, it's an interval of 5, so.
An interval, yeah. Anyway, it's stupid. This library I'm using, I originally only set the read timeout, which is set in milliseconds, like most other timing things. I think even Guzzle, like all their timeouts are in milliseconds, right?
Yeah.
If you want 5 seconds, you put 5,000. So when we're having an issue, and I said, oh, look, there's a connect timeout option. Let me just set that to 5 seconds. I put 5,000, not thinking anything of it, until I dive into their code. They have a read timeout in milliseconds and a connect timeout in seconds. Who does that? You're not laughing. You're supposed to laugh.
No, I'm laughing. It's just I was muted or something.
Actually, I just got a really weird thing that happened, and I don't even know how to explain it right now, because I don't even know how to do it. I clicked on the link that you had, John, and did you block me on Twitter, you bastard?
Maybe. No, of course not.
Is that what you did?
No.
I clicked on that link that you had, and it says this tweet is from somebody you have muted. I'm like, what does that even mean? I don't know what muted means.
You muted me?
What is that? I don't know how to mute somebody. I couldn't have muted you.
Whoa.
Because you didn't like what I was saying.
We know enough about programming here that I don't know how to, I couldn't have are two different declarations. I don't know how to means I did it on accident and don't know how I did it. I couldn't have.
Not only are you not
totally
muted,
different.
but I have notifications turned on for you. So whenever you tweet, and I know this, whenever you tweet, I get notified that you sent out a tweet. But I
tweeted that out today. I tweeted that out today.
Oh, there is a mute on here. Unmute John.
Muted me.
That is crazy. I guess I muted you.
He probably just.
I didn't even know that was a thing on Twitter.
He probably just went through and muted anything vegan related and accidentally swept you up in it.
I don't do vegan stuff on Twitter though. He blocked me on Facebook because of that.
I didn't block you on Facebook.
Okay, yes, he did. Don't everyone.
Just stop following me.
Yeah, he did. He did do
Facebook.
that for sure.
Yeah.
I blocked everybody on Facebook. I don't use Facebook, so there. When something happens, my wife tells me to get on Facebook and look at it.
Which is why I'm more frequently communicating with your wife on Facebook than I am with you.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. I finally got our artist friend to communicate with me off of Facebook, so he was the only reason I was getting on Facebook was to message him. So I finally actually have. Need to. I guess you people on Twitter.
My wife saw our logo, my picture, because I use that as my profile picture in places of our PHP Ugly logo. She goes, "That looks nothing like you." I'm like, "Yes, it does. What are you talking about? It's a caricature."
See, I thought it was
You
a
were
good one.
you were rounder when that was made.
I'm still around. I've made up for that in this stupid quarantine because I can't friggin' play
Do
frisbee.
you guys know what?
Drives me nuts.
Yeah, that's why.
You guys know what flock
I'm
is?
Yeah, it's a file lock.
No.
Flock is a file lock. Don't lie to me.
FLOC.
Oh no, I don't know what that is. I know what flock is.
Yes, that's not flock. Flock is
Why are you asking me?
Flock is Google's alternative to third-party cookies. You know, now that third-party cookies are being phased out all over the place, people are having a hard time tracking like what your interests are, or what did you look at on Amazon, or like what are your friends on Facebook talking about. So how do we advertise tents to you if we don't know you're going camping? Google, whose business model is advertising.
Wait, how do you know what I'm doing in a couple of weeks? Are you following me?
Yeah, you have your calendar public.
Oh.
Google, which is an advertising company, said, well, this is bad. So we're going to implement a new system where the browser says what personality type this user is. And whenever you go to a page, it's going to tell the page, hey, tell me about this user. I'm going to make a better personality type profile for them so they can report it to other websites. And the idea is that you get grouped together with a couple thousand other people who have similar interests or similar algorithmic behaviors of shopping, whatever you have. But it doesn't necessarily include your personal identification. It's just something that your browser broadcasts to every website that it goes to and says, hey, this guy likes camping stuff, so give him camping advertisements. This is naturally a pretty big security concern because it really makes fingerprinting users much easier and doesn't solve a whole lot of the problem of third-party cookies and isn't necessary. There's no way to turn it off in Chrome, and there's no way to turn it off in Chrome, and right now people are being guinea pigged into it without knowing. So there's a website called MIFlocked, AMIFLOCED.org, which will tell you if your browser is reporting your habits to every website it visits. But interestingly,
what is that?
MIFlocked.org. Interestingly, there's a big proposal in the WordPress community to treat Flock like a security concern, to restrict plugins from using Flock data or sending Flock data, and to treat it as an adversarial or malicious piece of code. So I'm wondering, I mean, what do you, Eric, you seem supremely bored with this whole concept.
No.
What do you think?
I would appreciate it if you put these things in Trello so we can share in Discord, but your browser does not currently have Flock enabled. Nice.
It did put it. It is right here on the Trello board.
Where?
The
Where?
big WordPress
Where?
picture on
Where?
show notes number 230.
That's not miflock.org though, is it? Is it?
Well, no, that's part of the whole conversation.
Is it? No.
Sometimes I really feel like
I've already done it.
you.
It's already there.
Oh, look at you, John. Good job, John.
What can I say?
All right. Cool.
So
it's always something.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Here's things that
am I supposed to care about this?
Google makes Chrome, gives it to us for free. Do we have the right to complain about how they watch us use it?
Yes. Don't ask me why.
I wanted Eric's input on this too.
Well, I don't care. It's always something, right? There's always something. There's always man in a browser somewhere. Use Brave. Oh, you can't use Brave because they're using you to use Firefox. Oh, you can't use Firefox because there's always a boogeyman. There's always a boogeyman, and I just stop caring. I just find it.
My thing is
the one that's going to hurt least.
When you say it's easier to fingerprint, you think they can fingerprint you down to the individual?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's been proven a couple times over.
I don't know. They're already doing it. I don't know if I care.
Well, I mean, you can stop them.
How?
With laws.
Well, okay. I'm not a lawmaker. I can't stop them.
No, but you can support the EFF. The EFF is all about privacy and all about getting these kinds of laws. See, that's
at least Eric does. He just doesn't know I'm using his money to do so.
See, and if he was a supporter of the EFF, he might have found out about you using his money, and then been a supporter of EFF even greater. You know, that's fine. I guess. I guess I should have revived that as doom and gloom segment and not expected anyone to be interested.
We're crashing quick. Has anyone checked out XDebug Cloud yet?
I have not. Have you? Is it a thing yet? I didn't know it was a thing.
It is a thing now. Yeah,
it is a thing. I haven't tried it yet, but I want to.
Wait, why haven't we tried? Why have we not tried this? XDebug Cloud provides wait.
And from my understanding.
Wait.
Yeah, it's not crazy pricing. I think
it kind of is actually, right? What's pounds to dollars? I forget. Somebody help me out.
It's like $2.50.
I don't know. I didn't do the conversion, so I don't know.
Holy crap, dude! This is not cheap.
Oh, never mind.
If Google is correct here, it's like $200. Wait, what? I got to go back.
For 3 months.
What was it? $200 for 3 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. This is so. If you're new to the podcast, you don't realize this. John and I run a business. We have a development studio, and so we're constantly looking at the cost of tools. And I had a bitch session with John this week. I'm like, I saw how much we're paying for Postman. And Postman is a good product. I mean, I am not selling Postman short. It is a fantastic product. And when we use it, in the limited amount that we use it, it's great because we don't have to, we just create our endpoints, we share it, and all the developers have access to it. That's fine. We're using probably 1/10 of the power of Postman. Matter of fact, that was one of the talks at the conference today was around Postman. But what we're paying for, we pay more for Postman than we do for PHP Storm. I mean, it's insane. And yeah, this is XDebug Cloud. I don't know what the benefits to having this as opposed to having.
Are you counting that per user too?
It's whatever this first one is. It's 149 pounds for 3 months. I assume that's per user. Oh, that's 3 users.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 users.
Okay.
So divided by 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the users get you, but
what's the benefit of the cloud? Do you know?
So from talking with a couple of people recently, you can actually put this in production, and it doesn't communicate unless you set environment variables. So it's not like XDebug 2 where it was constantly communicating. We were talking about within this environment, this application environment, they have auto scaling group of 10, 20 web servers, right? But there's always a single web server with a special domain so that when you're trying to debug something, you can still hit production, but it's not part of what the world hits. Does that make sense?
So is that kind of the kind of target here is, hey, run XDebug on your servers, and without the risk of it.
I don't know that. I don't want to say yes. I don't know what Derek's thought there was. I think it's a way to run it where you can get to your data more easily if you're not physically on the same machine. If you have, like your instance where you're going to be traveling, maybe it's easier to use that way versus trying to tunnel.
Yeah, that would be a great use case, right? Yeah, when I'm coding on my iPad, I've Vim to a server. I need to do some XDebugging.
Yeah.
Does it have a web interface to it?
I don't know. I haven't.
So the key to this is just that it's an external IP that both the web server and PHP Storm can hit. So you configure both your web server to hit that public IP and PHP Storm to hit that public IP. You don't have to worry about VPN communications if you've got your server over a VPN. You don't have to open ports up for the XDebug access because they're both outbound connections that open ports inbound. So there's a lot of environments where setting up XDebug can actually be really difficult because they've got security on the server that you don't want to try to circumvent or open up to the public. Using cloud means you don't have to open the XDebug port to the public. You just create a connection to the cloud provider.
So, but I mean, still in that case, and again, we're talking about the differences between Vim and PHP Storm. This is a perfect example. It has a setting in PHP Storm now for XDebug. Before XDebug Cloud was even released, that setting was in PHP Storm. Apparently, yes. He's working with JetBrains on it. And that's just that's just an example. I mean, they stayed again laser focused. It's a product that's laser focused on PHP. They stayed tied to that community. So definitely one of the strengths. But still, what you're talking about is it's still really beneficial if the XDebug you're running against is on code that's not on your local machine. I don't see the benefit of if I'm developing something on my local machine using XDebug Cloud, or is there a benefit?
Sometimes you're not developing on your local machine. Sometimes
I understand.
Sometimes
that.
You have a staging server.
I'm conceding that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying
to test.
My question is, this isn't for local development. This doesn't sound like it's for local development.
No, it's resolving issues that local development just doesn't have.
Gotcha.
Issues around staging, test production, remote partners that you don't want to have access to the server, but you give them the code.
Like a beta server, debug server. That's what I was saying. When I was talking to other developers yesterday about it, that was the use case that we came up with. Was you have an isolated server running production code, hitting production database. You're trying to debug an issue that you can't seem to replicate locally, but you can replicate it in production for some reason. Having that, being able to turn that on and debug it could be priceless.
Who's barking?
My dog all of a sudden woke up.
Let me see
John,
him.
The rule is you have to mute to toot.
You gotta mute the bark. Let me see this guy. I forgot you got a dog. Look at this.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that guy.
Very regal.
He's a satellite dish.
You're internet famous now.
With that thing? Good boy.
He just had the voice chopped off.
It would be. It would be. I mean, I would be okay signing up for this just to see how we could leverage it. But yeah.
All right. And with that, we should probably wrap this up because I think he might need to go out.
Maybe you need to take him out then.
Well,
okay. I do want to take a moment and again join our Discord if you're not in Discord. phpugly.discord.com. I do want to thank everybody in Discord. I got some help from Discord this week with some coding stuff. I'll hit you guys up this week. I have other questions I was going to bring up on the show, but we ran long. So I'll bring them up in Discord. I'm thinking about doing some live coding. I'm debating whether or not doing it on Twitch and just letting Discord know, or just doing it through Discord and again using PHP Storm and using Code With Me and just letting people connect to PHP Storm and code with me and follow my code. I haven't decided yet, but I'm probably going to do something. I'm working on a couple of open source things that I'm okay sharing, and I wouldn't mind. I was coding the PHP bot, PHP Ugly bot, which is in our Discord, the other day with the people in our Patreon channel. So we do have a Patreon channel, and I was in there talking to them, asking them for features that they'd like, and we were kind of coding things on the fly. It was fun. So I kind of got a feel for it. I'm like, I wouldn't mind doing that more. So I don't. Maybe I'll do it in the Patreon channel only, or maybe I'll do it in the general channel. I haven't decided yet, but I'm gonna do something with you guys.
Speaking of our Patreons, thank you,
Patreons. We appreciate you. No new Patreons this week. We're slowing down.
That makes sense.
We've gotten over the wave of people joining us, new people finding us.
Well, it was weird that we were getting new patrons. So this is just
hey John,
normal.
I need you to send out Patreon stuff for me, man. You've got all the stuff. I don't have it now. So I'll get that stuff to you. All right, we need to wrap up. John's got to take a potty walk, and we need to go.
Also, the dog needs to go to the bathroom.
Thanks everybody for listening. Appreciate it. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom. Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
Play some music.
Oh boy.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube.
Woo!
I love that guy. Thanks, Buttery. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
So I let me stop the recording here.
Sounded for a second like the dog did not make it outside in time.
Why do you think that?
Just heard a sound.
Oh no! Oh no! That might be the last time he podcasts with us for a while because he's got to take his dog out. It's a chore, man.
Oh God, I know.
I got Yaz back. Today.
Aww.
He's right there.
Yeah.
Missed the guy, man. God, it's crazy how much it hurts.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, we look like we're running long, and we are running long. We're at hour 20, but
That's not that long.
I say this with all the love in the world to you, Tom. I'm extra sensitive to it because I do the editing, right?
Yeah.
When you talk a lot, like when you're in the majority of the podcast, like I can knock off 20% because you have your speech pattern. You have a very unique speech pattern especially when you're trying to make a point. You'll say something, pause, take a vape, talk. So when I run it through audio, Oh, dude, I'm telling you, I run you through audio or Audacity, and you when I do truncate silence, it's just like you go from like this long to this long. I know. So you have like very long pauses when you talk, and so what I'm saying is we feel like we're running long because we are. We've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes, but after I do post on it, it like chops off like 20 minutes of the podcast.
If that's because of me, then it's not going to chop much off this episode, because for a good 20 minutes I switched.
Oh my God, dude. I don't know who you are. You rambled about Apple for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
15
you
maybe.
You just kept talking about... Oh my God. Maybe after I truncate out all the silence, it might be 15 minutes, but I don't think
I expected, since you brought it up, to have something to say.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up. I only moved the card over. Because you were already talking about it.
No.
Yeah. You started it off. You started off the whole show with, I got my M1.
Oh, that's true.
But it's fine. I would just say it's funny because I'm
really surprised that this press conference did not blow you away, because the platform, the cross-platform integration that they have between the phone, the iPad.
That's always been there.
No,
that's always
where
been
it's
there,
where it's at now, and now that they have hardware that is in the highest end and the lowest end devices, like the new M1 iPad is $799. Now the Pro is $1099, and that's including the XHR screen, which that's incredible. XHR screen is incredible. That is.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
Well, you're not a designer, but I'm going to tell you, in a few months when they do the developer conference, they're going to announce iOS 15, which is going to allow all of the apps that are compiled for M1 on all of the devices that have the M1 chip. You're going to have Xcode. You're going to have Pro Tools.
I think you're going to get PHP Storm on the iPad. I mean, if they're running what I saw with them running Adobe, I'm like, if they're doing that, they're going to have PHP Storm running on this. You won't need to connect to the web version. They're going to have it running.
No, they have it
on the M1.
Yeah, they have it ready to go as soon as iOS 15 is announced. There's already an M1 version.
So I think that, because I'm telling you, I'm loving this. I'm loving my iPad as my portable computer. I mean, I really am. Even with
the M1 chip, it really is a portable computer.
Get off the M1 dick,
no, dude,
man.
It's so important with the way Intel is flailing right now, and AMD is the top 20 CPUs are all AMD CPUs.
But you're talking like they've had the M1 chip for 20 years. It's just coming out. I mean, let it get some battle scars before we start praising it.
Well, I've seen the numbers on his performance, and it's crazy.
I don't question the performance. I question Apple's commitment to carrying it forward. I don't think they will iterate on it. They'll make a faster chip when they want to sell more computers, when they want to sell new versions.
That's absolutely one of the things I talked about with my friend, is that what does this mean for the generational changes between systems now? Because the next step is the iPhone with the M1 chip. Once everything's on the M1 chip and everything is based off of how well cooled the device is, what's M2 going to be? And
you understand, Apple has always marketed this silver bullet. Like, this change is going to change everything. This change,
I know.
To Intel is going to change everything. I mean, this is nothing new.
No, I know.
I guess I'm used to it. I mean,
I'm used to it too. I was teaching graphic design on.
You are way too excited.
No, I was teaching graphic design on Macs in '97. So I'm very much used to the PowerPC days and then into the Intel days and all that stuff. But I think M1 is a magic bullet. I think what they've achieved with the chip really is amazing. And they're not pushing it that hard.
You might be right. I just don't care yet. I mean, I don't have a need for it. I'm very happy with the systems I have.
Sure.
I might have a need for it. And I'm lucky. I mean, I am definitely fortunate. I'm privileged in the sense that I have the money where I don't buy low-end stuff. I buy high. Even when I was doing Mac, right? I bought the higher-end, bigger RAM, bigger processor. So I'm not in need of more power. Well, so I'm fine.
I think that's becoming more and more true for all users, and that's why the M1 is so impressive. Is that what's happening is they're starting to adopt the console life cycle for products, where your Mac is going to be a 10-year purchase. When the M2 comes out in 10 or maybe 15 years, it'll be a significant improvement. But I think they're going to carry the M1 chip for a very long time, and they're going to focus on the software for the time in between, which is what the console game has been.
Fine. I hope they do. But I mean, that they owe that to their customers, especially the ones who are jumping on the M1 bandwagon early.
I think
they definitely owe that.
The thing you'll see is a high-end dual M1 system coming out for video editors and stuff like that. But right now, as far as tablets go, there's no competition on the market. It's the fastest, longest battery life, and the best screen. There's nothing that competes at any price.
Right, and that's kind of my point. Like, I don't know where I need to be next before the hardware I have is I feel is getting old. Did you make? Oh, he doesn't have his headphones on yet. I don't know where I need to be before that hardware starts to feel old. But it's like I'm not really seeing that happening soon, and I'm not overly worried about it. Now, if I was a graphic designer or doing movies or something, I might be getting excited about this stuff. But it's just not exciting to me. Did you make it, John? Did the young man make it outside?
I don't know that that's what it was. He did go, but I don't think that's why he was barking. He must have heard something.
Okay.
He doesn't normally bark for that.
I think for hardware, the M1 is the magic bullet because they can put it in anything. It is amazingly cheap for them to put into something, and all they have to worry about right now is RAM speed, RAM quantity, hard drive.
But they'll keep it to themselves. I mean, it's not like this is going to find its way in other products. No, it won't. It's only going to be
it's just going to be Apple products, and I think Apple products are going to start really dominating the consumer and the prosumer market.
It already dominates the consumer
market. Well, Windows
market.
has a strong grip still. I think it's going to start beating out Windows.
I don't think it's going to change. I don't think you're going to see that big of a change. And quite honestly, I just don't care anymore. I just don't.
And I can totally understand.
I wasn't impressed. I like Apple products. Like I said, I love my iPad. I'm really curious how you end up liking your tablet, your Samsung, because I would have loved to have a Android. I would love to have had an Android tablet, and I had several. I had several high-end Android tablets, and they all suck.
No, so I have a friend who does QA for the learning system that Qdoba and Starbucks use. And so he has an Apple tablet, he has an Apple Pro tablet, he has the Samsung low end, Samsung high end, and like the Mac Mini. Like, he has all of these devices because that's his company supports all of them. And he was telling me, and I've experienced it too, that the Mac stuff, the Apple tablets blow away, even at the low end, the highest end Galaxy tablets.
I believe that. They definitely did their tablets.
If you look at the performance of the M1 chip, it's essentially a desktop chip.
Doing this M1 chip, man.
If you look at the numbers, the new iPad Pro is as fast as any laptop out there.
Okay.
That's pretty crazy.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward. If they have PHP Storm running on the M1 iPad, I might I might get one, but that would be the only
Well, when
reason.
is WWDC?
I'm perfectly happy. I'm perfectly happy with my iPad right now. It works great. I mean, it does everything I need it to do. But yeah,
mine works great too. It's a great paperweight.
See, WWDC is June 7th.
I have to go. So my mom's having surgery. She's having her other knee replaced, and my sister asked if I could come out and spend a week to help get her to therapy and stuff. And it's a tough week, right? Too, right? It's right between Beck's birthday and my birthday. I don't care. And I'm seriously like trying to think. I'm like, God damn, can I get away with just the iPad? Because I really don't want to take my laptop out. But I don't even know where it's at. Oh, it's over here still. I gotta get that thing updated, and then I got my workflow so dialed in.
Just take
Linux
a week off.
I have unlimited PTO now, so I have to really force myself to use it.
Stupid.
Yeah, man. iOS 15 is going to be a game changer.
Jesus.
All right, I'm done.
I don't know who you are anymore.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you.